Hello, everybody. We are back for another Manufacturing Alliance podcast live from the PTXPO in the Alliance Specialties and Laser Sales booth. It's been a good show so far. I'm here with Mr. Scott Peters.
Hi, Tony. Nice to see you.
You got to move that a little. Oh, wait, you got to turn it on first. I should have set you up for success, but I didn't.
You crashed and burned me.
I did. Well, listen, that's kind of how this has continued to go. There's always been a thing so far.
It's a thing. It's a thing. That's why we're in this business, right?
That is.
It's an opportunity
To take care of things and problems.
Yep.
So you're here just walking the show floor. What have you seen so far about with PTXPO?
Well, there's a lot of plastics processing equipment, which is really strange because usually this is the Amerimold venue.
Right.
So we're walking through and there's presses, there's dryers, there's granulators. One of the coolest presses or coolest systems is the Canon Shuttle system.
I didn't see it.
Hard to miss. As you walk in the main door, there's a shuttle system that allows you to run two molds in one press at the same time. Really cool technology.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't get 100% increase. You get about 80% increase in productivity on your single machine. So I almost sound like a Canon salesman. I almost do.
But I know you're not.
I'm not.
I know you work for M Design.
Right.
And the coolest thing that I saw all day is you're standing here in the booth and you look over at the Fortify booth and you're like, hey, that's my bin.
Well, that's my business. I have to be. We make home decoration products and home organization products. And when I see it, I want to make big noise about it.
Yeah, but it was just crazy because you didn't even get up and close. You're just like, that's it. That clear bin right there, that's mine. Yep. We make that.
And I need you to be able to polish those.
Yeah, we can do that.
I know you can.
We can do that for you.
I know you can.
Yeah.
An A2 finish on P20, you're on it all day.
And so that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about specifically is like the struggle that you're having in finding companies to do mold builds for you.
Yeah. So, everybody has been talking about the decline in the American mold building industry in terms of the people involved.
Right.
And we're seeing that firsthand. American industry is going through the roof right now with reshoring. COVID brought a lot of business back. And so where we're looking to build molds domestically, we can't find people who have capacity.
You're struggling.
Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, we can build that for you in 22, 24 weeks. And 12, 16. No.
You need it now.
Yesterday.
You need to make parts.
Yeah. So it's tough. The molds aren't difficult, but they are precision.
Right. Well, because you make a quality product.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I think that's a unique thing. And I know I've seen you over the last 2 days networking people, trying to find people to build those tools for you, and using the expo as something different than just showcasing a product.
Right. So I'm doing a little bit of allowing mold makers to do the reverse sell. They're down here looking at the technology to learn more about how they can improve their business.
Right.
But I see their name card, and I'm an old show dog. So I go up and, hey, do you build big molds? You build single cavity molds? What kind of tooling do you specialize in? And we begin a discussion and move from there into NDAs and quoting live projects.
Right.
So, yeah, we've got 20 projects that I need to place in the next 2 months.
And I only bring that up because so many people that are like mold builders, they're too busy right now to come to the show.
Yep.
They can't get out, and they're missing out on the opportunity to find new customers and just connect in the aisles and tell their story and be there. We have people come up here all the time and they ask for something like, do you know a molder that does that? Do you know a mold builder that does that?
Absolutely.
And I can call you right now and say, hey Scott, I got a guy here that is looking, that has open time. You should talk to him.
Yep.
We did that yesterday.
We did it last week.
Yeah.
And I'll ask the question, in this marketplace, why have you got open time?
Right.
What's your key marketplace?
Right.
Oh, well, I'm automotive and I really haven't ventured out. Okay, what are you going to do when automotive comes roaring back? Where am I going to be?
Right.
But we look to build long-term relationships.
It's the only way you can do it.
I've been friends with your dad for 30 years.
I know.
That's a long time. And it's that friendship that has allowed us to continue. We don't do a lot of business. but it's allowed our friendship has allowed us to interact, and that's this show.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's not about being able to do a lot of business together. It's about keeping that relationship open. Where if opportunity, you hear of an opportunity, it may not be from you, but you hear of an open opportunity and you open the door and you say, hey, Tony, you should call these people. Or, hey, John, you should talk to these people.
Absolutely.
Or I say, hey, Scott, this guy needs this.
Yep.
And I think that's a good segue into the SPE.
Sure.
So many people look at the SPE and they go, why? Why join another organization?
What's the relevance?
Right.
What does it bring my company?
Why do I need another association? How is that going to help me? And you and I have worked together with the SPE Mold Technologies division for the last 3 years, 4 years. I mean, you've been there for...
I'm coming up on getting my gold watch. I think I have 30 years next year.
Oh, my gosh.
But you've been the division chair, and it was something that you were propelled into.
Not
necessarily thrust, but propelled into.
I wouldn't say voluntold, but the offer was there. I accepted it. I didn't necessarily know what I was getting myself into, but we've started some good things in the last 2 years, and I think the momentum is rolling in the right direction. And you're getting ready to go right back into it.
Yep. So you're gonna be the outgoing chair on July 1st.
Yes.
I'm gonna be the incoming chair on July 1st, and we're gonna carry the momentum that we've built in the last 2.5 years forward into the next 2 years and beyond.
Yes. And yesterday we talked with Taylor, who is going to be our very first Track the Apprentice,
the inaugural program.
And she's a great kid. She wants to learn. She's full of curiosity, just totally outgoing, wants to work. I think that program is going to be so good. Hannah Coombs from Westminster Tool is heading it up. She's going to be leading Taylor through questions and experiences and how to do that. And all of those posts are going to be showing up on the SPE Mold Technologies division YouTube channel, the LinkedIn page, and it's going to be relevant information that you can pass on to other high school students, other college students, people that are looking for careers.
Absolutely.
And they don't know what to do with themselves.
Well, in the late 90s, we had a repurposing of people.
Right.
Whole industries were shutting down, and so people are in their 30s, and they're looking, what do I do? They could go into tool making at that point, mold making at that point, and now, 30 years later, they would have a career that has developed for them. They can make a good living, and they can be contributing in a vital way to the American economy.
Well, and we talked about that a little bit yesterday, but if you weren't here, you wouldn't have heard it because there was no audio on that podcast. Sorry. You just saw me talking, and if you didn't read my lips, you wouldn't have saw it. But too many people look at plastic, and they think pens, straws, maybe inconsequential items to a lot of people. But what they don't realize is all the medical equipment, all the heart stents, all the the masks for breathing, all of the critical, essential things that help us in everyday life. That's all being made here. That's all part of being a plastics manufacturer, whether it's a mold builder or a processor or whatever that is.
Sure. And plastics in the media gets a bad rap.
Terrible rap.
Oh, plastic is bad. But the truth is, plastic is fine.
Yeah.
It's the disposal of plastic that is the problem.
So
we just don't manage our waste well.
So John Bazzelli was saying yesterday that he thinks that plastic is a better source of fuel than coal. That if you burn it at a high enough rate, it's cleaner than coal.
Okay.
And you can use that for just energy production because it comes from natural resources.
It is a petrochemical.
Right. So if you just melt that back down, you burn it at a high enough temperature, you can reuse it as fuel in a more clean, efficient, economic way that doesn't do any damage. And I was like, wait, we're smart guys. I don't have a ton of money, but how do we do this? Because this sounds like a new good business.
It does. I mean, you need to put some kind of waste collection device on your stacks, scrubbers to collect the fumes, but absolutely, it turns it into ash.
Yeah.
Ash can go into the ground. It doesn't pollute. It's clean, and it is an alternative form of energy. Tell the people with the Green New Deal, we've got a Green New Way.
Yes, I like that. So, new stuff. We're
New
talking about
stuff.
new stuff. We have the Track the Apprentice with Taylor. Yesterday, we had the privilege of awarding 2 awards.
Right.
SPE MTD every year does the Mold Builder and the Mold Designer of the Year awards. Last year, or this year, the Mold Designer of the Year was Martin. I can't even say his last name. Yeah, that's close enough.
Oh, that is it.
Dude, he said something crazy yesterday.
Well,
it was
he
not
probably
Zajac.
gave you the really Polish.
Yes, he did. He did. But I mean, that dude is amazing.
Yep.
And what was so great about hearing his story is how he didn't even know that he was nominated.
Right.
Somebody nominated him because of who he is and what he does and how he actually cares. And so he was caught off guard. Like,
Yep.
Jeff Luther told him he was coming to the show and didn't tell him why. And that's the kind of person that needs to win that. The person that doesn't even know, they're not like, it's not like me going, "Hey Scott, I saw this award. Will you nominate me?"
Absolutely. So yeah.
That's a different thing. When your body of work speaks so well for itself that you've been somewhere for, I mean, I don't know how long he
It's
said.
been 30 years.
30 years at one company.
At one company.
And they nominate him and he wins. That's awesome.
Well, you know what's really cool about his nomination? It didn't even come from within his employment. It came from one of their subcontractors who had worked with Martin to develop some tools. And he was like, this guy is a mold designer supreme.
Right.
He knows how to manage his program. He knows the technology. He needs this award. That's cool.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and then you have Rick Finney from MR Mold, who won Mold Maker of the Year.
Right.
Rick, I mean, he just won something at the AMBA a couple years ago.
Was the Mold Builder.
Mold Builder of the Year for AMBA.
Yeah.
Just a good guy. I mean, he cares about the industry, cares about his team, wants to see it grow. He started classes. He keeps giving back to the industry. He's doing so many things right.
Yep.
And it's another guy that totally deserves that award.
Yeah, he trains within his organization. Right. You walk in the door, you don't even have to know how to turn on a milling machine. And by the time you're there, you're 10,000 hours as an apprentice, you are a well-rounded mold maker.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll give you a career path into sales and marketing or into design, but Rick cares about his people. He cares about his community. Do you know he's a Boy Scout troop leader?
It doesn't surprise me.
I mean, here's a guy that works 50 hours a week at least in his business, and then at night he's out with the Boy Scouts guiding other young minds into a better way of life.
He's a leader.
He's a leader.
He's a leader in the industry. He's a leader in the community. He's a leader all the way around.
Absolutely.
And so you and I were talking, and you got the mold builder, you got the mold designer, and there's one area that's missing.
We have the Unsung Heroes Award. It's not really the Unsung Heroes Award.
There's no glamour.
It's the mold repair person of the year.
Right. So that's not an award yet. It's coming in 2023.
2023, we will be making the presentation. It is not a company award.
Correct.
Just like the mold maker and the mold designer are individual awards where we're recognizing a person for their capabilities, their business ethic, their care about the community. We're doing this with the person. I call him almost like a crime scene investigator.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So we send a mold from a molding room. Maybe they get a part. Maybe that part is within the last 50 shots. And we say, it's broke. We don't have any prints. Take it apart, figure out why, fix it, and have it back to me. Oh, by the way, I'm going to give you a lot of time. You got 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They love that, by the way.
And these people have been overlooked forever.
100%.
100%. So we decided as the Mold Technologies Division Board, this is an overlooked, under-recognized group of people that have great skills. Now, I have to tell you, the Mold Maker of the Year Award is sponsored by Hasco.
Yep.
Got to give a plug to our
Absolutely.
people. The Mold Designer of the Year Award is
Progressive
sponsored
Components.
through, right, the generosity of the guys at Progressive Components. Mold Repair Person. This is a craftsman person.
Yes.
Is sponsored by Steve Johnson at Mold Tracks.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yep. And Steve is generous
Yep.
to a fault. He said, what's the general donation?
Okay.
Because along with the award goes a stipends to the training center of your choice.
Okay.
So here we are in Chicago.
Yes.
If you're an apprentice, you win this award for mold maker, mold designer. You say, well, the NTMA Training Center, I want to give
Yeah.
a donation there. I said, well, it's typically $500. He says $500 won't go very far in our economy. How about I bump it to $1,000 stipends every year?
Steve's awesome.
He is.
And it makes perfect sense, because if you don't know, Mold Tracks is teaching people how to do that.
Absolutely.
How to diagnose, how to be the crime scene investigator, how to take a problem, rip it apart, diagnose it, and fix it the right way, not put a Band-Aid on it.
Absolutely. And beyond that, he's teaching practitioners of the mold repair and maintenance
Right.
how to set up a PM program
Right.
so they're not in a crisis mode all the time.
Right.
So it's really a great way to go.
Right. So next year will be the first inaugural SPE Mold Technologies Division Mold Repair Person of the Year.
Absolutely.
So do we have any credential or any qualifications for this award at this point?
So yes, the qualifications are they're loose because it covers 3 areas.
Okay.
One, we want to know that you know how to do your job.
Right.
So we're looking for nominations in a short form, a short business bio that says what you do.
Sure.
You know, been doing this for 35 years. He's able to take apart a mold. That's great.
Everybody can do that.
Well, you can take them apart, but can you put it back together?
Yes.
There's the question. Gets it done on time and
Right.
correctly. But beyond that, we want to know, does this person have great business ethics? You know, we're sending out, and many times, a $50,000, $100,000, $250,000 tool.
Sure.
And we're expecting that our intellectual property is safe.
Right.
And so we want to know that the business ethics are there.
Yep.
That he quotes a project, or maybe not. He says it's going to be a T&M job. He's not going to be reaching into our pocket too far.
Of course.
Right. So it's business ethics, it's craftsmanship. And the third is, how does he or she have to, no gender bias.
No.
How does this
You
individual...
can't even tell he or she anymore.
No,
so.
you can't, because I don't know which gender to use.
Right.
So how do they conduct themselves in giving back to the community?
Yeah.
Are they working with a training center saying, hey, look, we don't know how to teach you. They don't know how to teach you to be a mold repair person.
Sure.
Let me teach you how. Let me give you career guidance. You know, I think about Scott Phipps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a guy that when he hires somebody, the first thing he teaches them, money management.
Yeah.
Because they don't teach that in high school.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, there's a guy that really understands bettering his community.
Of course.
Because everybody can go bankrupt really easy.
Yes.
But if you know how to manage your money and you learn it on the job, what a deal.
Yep.
So that's the 3 key areas.
Okay.
We look for your coworkers or your customers, somebody to nominate you. And when I say nominate you, our business bios, we look for 2 or 3 paragraphs.
Yeah, it's not like you're writing a novel about
good
somebody.
Lord, no.
We don't want to read that.
No.
I mean, it's great to know how much you love these people, but what we want to know is the high level things.
Absolutely.
You don't have to start from the very beginning of when they worked there. Why do you feel that this person should be considered the mold repair specialist of the year?
Exactly right. When you want to give all that background stuff is when people from Mold Making Technology Magazine, Plastics News are coming up and interviewing you and saying, hey, you just won this award. Let's talk about your background.
Right.
And they can do the deep dive.
Yep.
So
I agree. So we've got those 2 things coming up with the SPE Mold Technologies Division. Scott, you are getting ready to take that over in July. And it's an organization that is continuing to grow and push and give back.
Yep.
So one of the reasons that people should be even thinking about it is that networking.
Absolutely.
You know, back in the day, it was one of the only ways to get information is to be part of the SPE.
Right.
There's a newsletter that comes out, and there's some things like that, but it's so much more than that, where you can go on the LinkedIn page, you can communicate with people, you can reach out with questions, you can build relationships, you can do all these things, and I'm not saying you can't do it without the SPE.
That's correct. That's correct. But I'll tell you, I've been on this board for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
I've gotten some business. I was in sales, so I got some business. But what I got that is more valuable than the couple of purchase orders is the relationships.
Absolutely.
Lifelong friendships that have developed through SPE. I had the honor of speaking at the Antec in 2008 in Milwaukee
Okay.
at the Student Activities Luncheon.
Yeah.
And I finished it with one thing, and we can all remember this. As a mold designer, a mold maker, a mold repairman, whatever you are in the plastics industry, it doesn't matter that you know everything.
Right.
What it matters is that you know where to get answers. SPE gives you that network to reach out.
Yeah.
You know, it gives guys like Glenn Beal. I mean, I call him the father of plastics. Glenn is a member of the Plastics Pioneers. He was knighted, I want to say he was knighted in the UK.
That's awesome.
By Queen Elizabeth. He is a lifelong member of SPE and the injection molding, mold making and mold design, PD3 group. He's across the board. And there's a guy you can reach out to and ask him a question and he'll answer it.
Right.
So that's the big sell for SPE.
And that's not to take anything away from the AMBA or
Nothing.
the TMA or
Nope.
all those other things. All of them are exciting. All of them are important. All of them are necessary. All of them serve a different purpose. But at the end of the day, all of those networks, all of those associations, there's only a benefit if you do something with it.
Exactly.
If you expect that you're going to sign up for the SPE because it's $20 a year or whatever it is, I don't even know how much it costs anymore.
$155.
$155 a year, whatever
But
it is.
if you talk to us, we can get you a show special.
Yeah,
and save you
exactly.
$10.
Exactly. $155. If you pay $155 and you think it's going to be the magic cure-all to bring you business, you're wrong. You're only going to get it out of it as much as you put into it. So whether you're a member of the AMBA, whether you're in the TMA, whether you're in the SPE, whether you come to a trade show and you're wondering why isn't
am
it
I
working?
here?
Why
Yeah.
isn't it working? You have to go out and put the effort in to getting
Absolutely.
something out of it.
Absolutely. And that network will sustain you professionally and personally.
Yeah.
You know, we've got friends in SPE that my wife and I have now known since 1994. We go on vacation with them, and it is a joy to be together. Right. But you can't do that unless you get invested in each other's lives and in the industry.
So, whether it's the Mold Technologies division, whether it's the Chicago chapter, the Milwaukee chapter, the whatever chapter it is,
Yep.
you know, I was talking with VJ yesterday from Westfall,
Okay.
and we are now we're talking about planning a golf outing for the SPE, merging a couple of SPE divisions,
Great.
to take place in California next year.
Whoa, that sounds like fun.
Yeah,
I mean, I've been at your golf outings.
yeah.
The iWarrior golf outings that Tony puts on hosts.
The team hosts, yeah, the team hosts.
The Alliance team hosts are second to none.
Yeah, we have a good time.
We do.
But my encouragement is find a chapter, get involved, find out how you can do more, find out how that can help you grow your business, find out how that can help grow the industry, that you can bring other people along. Don't let it just be the senior members of your team that participate.
Exactly.
Bring in
right.
the youth. Let the youth be excited and come to these shows and draw in more youth, because like attracts like.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Energy attracts energy.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny you mentioned the young people. I just finished a 3-article series in our newsletter.
Yes, you did.
That talks about the what's in it for me.
Right.
Because we're looking for board members.
Right.
And I don't mean bored, another meeting. I mean board members that are excited to be doing what they're doing, that have energy like this guy. And I'm telling you, there is something in it for me.
Of course.
There's something in it for your employer.
Of course.
But there is a cost.
Yes.
And you have to pay the cost. At the end of the day, there's a cost for everything. I look at it and I evaluate on a P&L basis, does it make sense to be a board member of the SPE? And I say yes.
Yeah.
So consider it, reach out. We got plenty of ways to get connected.
We do. Hey, look, it's Timothy Stoll.
Hey, Tim.
He wasn't
well.
expecting that. He had his head turned, hoping I wouldn't notice him.
He's on a walkthrough.
I can tell him from anywhere.
So
But, you know, I just want to say thank you for coming by. Thank you
thank
for being a mentor to me in the SPE and other areas of my life, and for coming up with this awesome new award that I think is going to pay recognition and attention to the guys that don't really want recognition, but that deserve it.
That deserve it. Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you for having me and allowing me to share my 2-minute spiel.
Oh, of course. So, everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. This is live from PTXPO. We will be back at 3:30 with Alex Beaumont. So, be sure to tune in for that one. Until then, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Take care, and God.